Hey everyone, I wanted to take a few minutes to revisit an encounter I had with the Niagara Regional Police Service not too long ago. Some of you may have already seen the full unedited version of this on my YouTube channel or Facebook page, but I think there's real educational value in looking closely at just the opening minutes of this encounter. In this exchange with Constable Chris, you'll see how quickly an officer can invent bylaws, misinterpret legislation, or claim authority they simply don't have. What is striking is the confidence behind these statements, delivered as if they were unquestionable fact when in reality, they're not based in law at all. One of the most common tactics by police is deception. Chris demonstrates this when he insists that there is a law protecting people's privacy at bus terminals. That law does not exist. Whether it is intentional misrepresentation or ignorance, the effect is the same: the erosion of our rights. Police also employ other strategies to avoid accountability, such as circling the person filming like a shark or playing copyrighted music to interfere with recordings. The goal is always the same: conceal misconduct, deny transparency, and make sure that their version of events is the only one that survives. Meanwhile, they have no issue recording us, tracking us, and collecting personal information without our consent. This double standard reflects the imbalance of power at the heart of modern policing. It is also worth noting how policing in Canada differs from what we see in the United States. South of the border, violence tends to be overt, lethal, and less lethal weapons deployed quickly and often without hesitation. In Canada, that approach is more subtle, but no less sinister. Here, officers are trained to hide rights violation behind politeness. They threaten detention, arrest, and criminal charges, often without reasonable or probable grounds, delivered with a smile and softened with please and thank you. This isn't courtesy. It's strategy. It's a calculated performance designed to survive judicial scrutiny while still undermining our fundamental rights. As you watch the following clip, pay close attention to how Constable Chris leans on non-existent bylaws and reveals a total lack of understanding of property ownership and Ontario's easy-to-understand Trespass to Property Act. After the footage, I'll return with some additional analysis. Oh, Chris. Thank you. Hi, Chris.
What's your name?
I'm not going to identify myself at this time.
Why is that?
I don't need to.
You don't need to.
I don't need to. I don't need to identify unless I've done something that's licensable. I'm committed to the process of committing a licensable activity in the province of Ontario.
Okay.
You should know that, Chris. Come on.
Yeah, you're on property that's owned by the city.
It's actually owned by the regional municipality of Niagara.
So this gentleman here works for the city?
Okay. Well, he works for the commissioner. He's a privately yeah.
So that's what's going on.
He can't though.
Why is that?
Because I am on publicly accessible property owned by a public organization, and I've committed no provincial or criminal code offense.
So why is it that
I'm working on a project. 3 weeks ago I came here filming a segment for a video that's just talking about hostile architecture. I'm not going to get into what that means right now. 3 weeks ago, a different security guard attempted to violate my rights. The officer that showed up, I don't recall his name, but was very professional and recognized that I can't be trespassed. I mean, we could keep playing the spin around game, but I'm more than happy to.
I just don't understand why you feel the need to like that.
I don't know. I don't understand the need why you think you need to identify me and B, potentially trespass me, abridging my civil liberties.
Well, I guess expressed before. What was the end result last time when you were here and they asked you to leave?
Yeah.
Is there trespass notice?
I was not. Sorry if you guys got dizzy there. Chris likes to play the spin around game. Police will do this quite often to get off camera as quickly as possible.
So how long do you propose you're going to be staying there?
Probably a half an hour. I was in the middle of recording my segment when you interrupted me. Half an hour, I'm not sure. Depends. He keeps interrupting me, and now I have you. I appreciate you're doing a job. You don't want to be here. But as long as you guys keep interrupting me, it's just going to drag it out longer and longer. Now, I heard you guys talk about loitering. So, are you aware of the St. Catharines bylaw on loitering? I am.
I'm also aware that you have a job to do and protect.
Absolutely. And how have I threatened the well-being or safety of anybody here?
You're arbitrarily videotaping the drivers are concerned, and you're videotaping people that are on transit so they may not want to be videotaped.
And I'm not sure how that impacts me.
Well, it's just concern for their rights as well, right?
What are their rights?
If they don't want to be videotaped when they're on a...
Can you point that out to what maybe either criminal?
Article number 4 that I could probably do some research.
Well, there's no such thing as you have no reasonable expectation of privacy in public. The Ontario Court of Appeals have upheld that, and the Supreme Court of Canada a number of times have upheld that. So I don't know what you think you can do to abridge my civil liberties. You can't trespass me because someone doesn't like to be filmed, right? I mean, if you want, we can be both on camera if you want. And this is... What?
Yeah, that'd be great. If you want to...
Yeah, okay, let's be on camera, yeah. And it'll work better for the mic pickups. So, I mean, the last officer who I spoke to came out. He and I had a conversation just over there, feet from where we are now, and he himself pointed out that nobody has a reasonable expectation of privacy in public. I can't go into your house, that's private. I can't go into a bathroom because people would have a reasonable expectation for privacy in a change room in a bathroom. But when we are standing on a sidewalk, when we are standing on property that is owned by the region.
The loitering aspect, right? About how much time you going to be staying here. I mean, the purpose of being here obviously is to obtain and receive public transportation.
That's a primary focus, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, people don't normally stand here in one spot and audio and video record other people. So then we're falling into the rules and regulations that we may have for loitering.
So there's no provincial offense for loitering, and there's no criminal code. In 2019, the criminal code, I know, it's a bylaw for the city of St. Catharines. 2000, so unfortunately I have two mics on. I have one mic pack that I'm wearing, and I also have a shotgun mic above my camera. Unfortunately, because it's so loud here, there are literally 6 buses here. So the shotgun mic is probably not going to pick up anything at this point. Police often derive much of their authority not from the law, but from bravado, through aggressive body language, implied or explicit threats of violence, and the reality that in Ontario, there is virtually no mechanism to hold officers accountable for their misconduct. In this encounter, Chris was either lying or confused when he claimed the bus terminal was city property and that the security guard, David, was hired by and acting under the authority of the city. None of that was true. Chris went further, insisting that there was a bylaw banning filming on bus terminal property and that staff could trespass anyone for any reason. That is also false. And if that wasn't enough, after incorrectly calling it city property, he then described it as private property. This contradiction is absurd. Cities can own property, yes, but when that property is ordinarily open and accessible to the public, it is considered a public space. Absent an underlying offense, no one can be arbitrarily removed. I refused to leave. For that, I was charged with fail to leave after warning. The charge did not survive. The prosecutor withdrew it immediately after reviewing the information laid by one of Chris's colleagues. She correctly recognized that I was engaged in lawful conduct and that the police and the region had overstepped their authority by denying me my freedom of expression and to access a public service and to engage in my journalistic work. Being a police officer often means never having to say you're sorry. None of the 4 or 5 officers who responded apologized for their patronizing attitude, their misuse of power, or the threat of violence that underpin their actions. They were either willfully ignorant of basic Canadian jurisprudence, or they knew what they were doing was wrong and pressed forward anyway, driven by anger, ego, and the hope that I would be worn down by the process. And isn't that the point? Sometimes the process is the punishment. Police understand that defending yourself is costly and time-consuming, and the process becomes the punishment. In this case, I was prepared. I knew my conduct was above reproach, and I was ready for a fight.